Okay, I'll be right there.
I might go down to the barn.
I don't know if you should go outside.
I know, I hate being in here, I can't tell.
I know, but what if a piece of tin comes off at you?
Yeah, but I'll be able to see.
I think we're through the worst of it, but it's still storming. I think we've got some bands coming. The house is still up, but we've lost all our sheds and barns. That little one looks like it's up, but the back wall's gone. This is standing on the back steps. That was the workshop. There's the barn. It's a tree. You can see the horses over there. They're all right. The house did really well. The skirting and some of the gutters got damaged, but that was it. It's pretty lucky. Nana and Granddad had made it. My poor trying to bury trees. I think they're done. I can't even look at my barn. Workshop. And on the cows, they all look like they're okay so far. Get out of the way of that metal. Big bee tree broke off. Looks like most of the mulberry's gone. That was a hill with the barn. Okay, we've gotten the cows secured back in our 1 5-acre field that has a pond. We got to put up a fence because the barns come down and they can still get out that way. We put out a new bale of hay so they're settled for a minute. All the cows and horses, dogs, rabbits, chickens, cats, as far as we know, everybody is okay. So it's along this side that we've got to get a fence up where this barn's coming down so that we can keep them contained in this field. This end of the barn had our Polaris Ranger side by side, which stopped it from coming down a bit. And then the other end is our 4020 tractor. But otherwise, it's all gone. I mean, I've done some of it, but I was just on the video explaining how we got to get a fence up there because that's the spot the animals can get out of now.
Right. Sally, can you go up and just tie that gate, please?
And when I did my how to raise beef, I stood in there. Video. There was a workshop over there. That shed looks like it's still standing, but it has no back wall. This is our in-laws, my in-laws, Dan's parents' little shed. That looks pretty good, actually. That's all the tin from our roofs, all spread throughout. So we'll be recording all our cleanup and damage and all the work this has made for us on the farm now. Thankfully, we have minimal damage. We've lost some shingles and skirting, but our brand new double wide did really good, and it kept us safe, which is the most important thing. Yeah, but how are you going to get your tractor like in enough to push it? I don't know. This was the middle of our barn. It's where the kids played in their dirt pile. Dan just moved all the bales out of the little lean-to we had them in because we want them to dry out. We're going to end up feeding them pretty fast. Sadly, we just bought them Saturday and put them in there. And he's knocking down the rest of the workshop now. We want to get everything down so there's no danger of anything falling or collapsing. We've got our generator on our well for right now, so we can power that up and fill our Berkey, flush toilet, wash up. I haven't heard the estimate for power, probably weeks. So we have a couple generators. Dan's got some big ones on the work truck. We'll get the house hooked up and at least we'll have some limited use of things in the house. I bet the old man who owned our farm would have been real sad to see this. All the sheds and stuff he built, they came down in a matter of hours.
Oh yeah, let's go. Come on, come on, yeah, come on, yeah.
We have slowly started to figure out how to function without power for possibly weeks. So, my mom had bought us some of these disaster meals, something like that. There's not very much in there, but the boys are gonna have mac and cheese for lunch. We do have some other food we're okay until we can get to a store. Let's see. We put all the bales out, took them out of the shed last night. I think I did a video on that. If I did, it'll be before this. That way they can dry so they don't all get ruined. We're probably going to feed a lot of hay because we put that fence up where the barn collapsed to keep the cows and the horses in this 5-acre field that also has a pond. We do have a generator hooked to our well, so we can turn that on and fill water troughs and the Berkey and toilets and scrub up. And so here's the generator on our well. So the animals have water, but I like them being in a field with a pond just in case. And then, let's see, what you saw, I'm knocking down the rest of the workshop. It's just too dangerous to have things standing. The boys have started to come around and slowly pile up brush. We gotta get all the metal out of the brush. And the front of the house didn't get hit as bad. The storm came from the, southeast. So the back, that's why all our barns, our sheds in the back of the house got the worst. The front of the house didn't do too bad. You can see the generator over there. So we've got that into the living room with a fan on it and the fridge plugged in. And we can charge things up and make do for now. Dan got called into work today. His company does, they're on road recovery to clear all the roads and everything, and I do think he is on his way home early. But what we're gonna rig up is, and we should have done this before, this is why they say be prepared, but this area of Florida has not had a hurricane of this magnitude ever on record. So there is that. Anyway, we're gonna put an amp. I'm not gonna have the right terms for this. We're gonna hook something up to our panel box so that we can plug the generator straight in, and then we can turn the breakers off in the house to all the things we don't need. But fridge, air, like we could have a few of our comforts back just to try to normalize living for a little bit. It isn't gonna be normal, but if we could just be functional and just have maybe the comfort of fans and air, I think we could live without anything else. I don't even think we need lights. It's supposed to be in the 90s here today. I do think the weekend might cool down a little, but it's still the end of August in Florida, so it's hot. And the grill works great for cooking, so we're okay on that front. I'm just trying to document this as we go. I read through our insurance policy this morning, and of course it's like really hard to read. So I'm gonna email our agent and just see if our barns were covered. It is just kind of like hour by hour, what is the next right thing to do? So this morning it was like, get the water troughs filled up, get all the animals okay, find the feed. And now it's like, okay, what are we going to have for lunch? And then we'll think about what we're going to have for supper. And it's just, I said to my kids, it's not even what's going to happen tomorrow. It's just, what do we need to do in the next hour to just keep functioning and keep kind of survival moding this until we get to a better place, until they get power restored, really. I mean, we have a ton of work with the trees and the barns and all the cleanup. But as far as living conditions go, the hardest part will be until we get power back. So again, I'm just going to keep updating this video, and one day when we have power again and internet, I'll put together a big YouTube video on how we made it through Hurricane Idalia.
Somebody's mailbox. It's gone. Oh my. Well, now the birds are done. Yeah. That was a big tree. Oh, it fell on there already.
They gotta start cleaning.
Is that again?
Oh, these are tree guys. Holy.
Oh, look at the
Just a second, okay? He's doing me a favor.
Calm down. He needs
He's getting him to video this part of the road where we squeeze under the power line. Doesn't scary at all every time we have to do it. Doesn't touch the car though, does it? Get all this. Some of those have already been cut. Like somebody's come through to try to do some of that already.
Okay, I'm gonna shut it off now.
Okay, we're about 48 hours post hurricane, and last night Dan, I was just trying to figure out what he did here. So Dan put in a new breaker. This is our mains where the main electric comes into our house. So we have that off, and then this is our well. I'm going to turn it off. That says well crap. Oh, I know what he meant. I thought he meant well, but he went well crap. He should have said oh crap. This is the oh crap breaker because it goes to a cord that plugs into a generator. So he's got a huge welder generator on his work truck. So we plugged into that last night and had air conditioning. It won't power our... Hang on a second. It won't power our whole house. In the house, we shut off all the breakers, and then we just turned on the AC. And this morning we turned on an outlet, and we turned on some kitchen lights real quick, and then we shut them back off. So it won't power our whole house, but holy moly, is it nice to have air conditioning. And now he's gone to work today, so he has that generator with him, but I have the little one out the front with a fan in the house. And because it ran in the night, the house is already so much cooler than it was yesterday. And then we still have the one on the well, so anytime we need to do some dishes or go to the bathroom, I just fire that up for 5 or 10 minutes and we run the water we need and shut it back off. So really, we have a pretty good living setup. All our basic needs are being met. We grilled burgers last night. We have to get a little creative with our food. We have a Kroger grocery delivery here, and I scheduled one for Saturday. Dan has a little internet box through work too, so when he's here I can get on some Wi-Fi. And I think I have a grocery order coming Saturday. We're not doing a lot of meat and dairy because, well, we did run the fridge last night on that generator, but during the day I'm just trying to keep the fridge cold. So I can't really rely on meat and dairy, but at least I can keep butter and like a few things chilled to keep us going. I'm walking down to the barn. So this is where our barn was, and I need to start pulling stuff out that we want to keep. We have some friends who have offered to come up and organize a work party this weekend. Today's Friday, September 1st. They were thinking about maybe coming up Sunday. So if I could start to pull out the stuff that I need, then if we did get some men here, then we could get the wood and the metal and all the trees cleaned up. See that all that metal up there? Well, beyond our big hill, there's metal all through those fields. So it is a bit overwhelming for just Dan and the kids and I. And being almost 20 weeks pregnant, I probably can't do as much as I think I can. It's super depressing. I feel okay today. The last 2 days, every time I came out here, I just cried. But I know things could be worse. I can still know things can be worse and be devastated. It's tough to lose. Loss is just tough, right? No matter how you slice it. But I'm feeling good about our living situation. I've emailed our insurance guy. Because our sheds were so old and not a lot of value, I'm afraid our policy is not going to cover these. So then I will be looking into some other resources. We don't necessarily need a workshop right away, but we would really like to get the barn built back and build it a little higher, obviously a lot tougher, because as we've been looking, these footers, so like here's a footer, but its hole I think was actually over there. They weren't even, I mean, you can see where they were in the ground. They were not in the ground far enough. And it just lifted. And when this end came down, it came down on the cattle crush and the 4020, and the other end came down on the Ranger, and that's why the middle's gone. That one just didn't come back down. That one just kept going. So I do have my little shed over here that never got touched, and our cattle trailers moved now, but our cattle trailer was parked over here too, and all of these are completely untouched. So what I'm gonna do is get in this. I haven't organized this shed because it's been so hot in there this summer, but it looks like we have a cooler weekend. So what I'm gonna do is get in there and get that organized so I can put all the feed, anything that needs a dry roof, I can put in that shed. And then the other little shed that still has the roof, but the back wall blew out, Dan's gonna try to rig up the back wall, and then he can at least put all his workshop dry, like just stuff it in there, so that between what was in the barn and what was in the workshop will be in under a dry roof until we figure out how we're gonna build back. That's also my in-laws' little shed that just got delivered before the hurricane, and they didn't even tie it down. It never moved. The sad part about all our barns and sheds were they were quite old and they weren't in great shape already, so they just didn't stand a chance, but we loved them and we used them. We made the best out of them. The boys started to pile up some of the branches, but I think we're gonna take them up in that corner and just have a bonfire. I know that I think the county is coming around if we leave debris out in piles. The tough part is our driveway's gated and we don't have any like road frontage. The dead end road ends at our gate. So unless we put some piles up along, there's a hayfield out there, and we just use the edge of that, then the county might come and take some of the debris. We're gonna scrap the metal, see what money we can get out of that. That nice, Rusty? So again, this is 2 days past the hurricane. Dan had to go to work yesterday, and I went out to get gas yesterday. I will post some of the footage of trying to get there. I had to go under down power lines. I watched another truck to make sure I could fit first. And then I waited over a half hour to get my gas cans filled, but you know, we had gas, so that's good. My mom's driveway is still completely blocked in, and we would clear it for her, but it's got power lines in it, so we're really kind of waiting on the power company to touch that. And then our neighbor Maurice, one of our big trees fell on our fence line, and he's got a lot of it in his property, and he also can't even get out his driveway. So I think when Dan gets home from work tonight, he's gonna take the backhoe and we're gonna head over to his house, see if we can't get his driveway unblocked for him, because he can't get in and out. So, you know, a couple days of that is one thing, but then eventually you're gonna need some supplies. Okay, till next time. And he's straight off the cod fishing boat off the North Atlantic. Help! Send help! This is what happens when we have no power for 48 hours. I came out here to videotape the kids. Where'd you get that? Oh, but it's so flattering. No, Rusty. Playing in the rain on the hay bales. It's shower time. Good morning. Today is 10 days since Hurricane Idalia, and I didn't keep up with my videos very good. Last weekend we got all our fence lines cleared and at least temporarily put back up. I'm filling cow waters. And we got a lot of the tree damage cleaned up, at least in the yard. The horse field and all the other fields really have a ton of tree cleanup that we'll slowly get to. But we're in pretty good shape. We haven't begun on our workshop and barns yet because we were waiting on the insurance adjuster. They've just been so slow, obviously, because everybody's been affected in our area. So they did tell us we could take really good pictures and begin cleaning up and at least getting tools and stuff out of there. It rained yesterday. It's supposed to rain again today, so we'd like to get some of the kids' toolboxes and tools. We have a little shed we can at least put them in. Today's beef day, so we took 2 steers to the butcher a couple weeks ago. I can't remember the date now because I don't remember any dates at the moment. And today's the day we pick it up. Our butcher has been amazing. He had generators, he kept everything cool. Our beef was hanging during that time, so it was aging, and it was processed this week and it's frozen and ready to go. So I'm gonna do a whole separate video on picking up our beef and how it looks and all the different cuts we've gotten and how it's packaged. But I wanted to wrap up this Hurricane Idalia video and just kind of let you know where we are. We have been assigned an insurance adjuster. He just hasn't been out yet. FEMA did come out, but we don't have a lot of damage to our house. They told everybody to file claims anyways, and I'm pretty sure all the minimal damage to our house is gonna be covered under our insurance anyways. We're pretty sure the workshop / garage is also gonna be covered because that was more of our personal garage, really. You know, our lawnmowers, our weed eater, we kept all that stuff in there. Unfortunately, our barn was not covered under our insurance, so I don't think we're gonna get any help there, but we have applied for the Farm Service Agency to see if we can get any help through that to rebuild our barn. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have more information about what kind of money we're getting from our insurance, and then we can focus on our rebuilding plan. We definitely need a barn again with our cow pens and our horse stalls and hay storage and feed storage and all of that good stuff. So maybe we'll do a part 2 video and kind of like the rebuilding part of the hurricane since we've covered the destruction part. But our power came back on Wednesday. It was only out for 1 week. I don't know how they did it. It's amazing. All the different crews. In our small service area alone, there was over 1,200 poles damaged and something like 500 transformers. And electric companies from all over the country came in to help. It was really, really amazing. And every church has had food and meals and goods, and it's been really heartwarming to see this community come together during this storm. We're newer up here. We've only been here a year and a half, and I don't think we could have been in a better place. Just the support and just knowing that the resources were out there if we needed them was nice to know. I got the rabbits temporarily set up here. Hey buddies! Actually it's 2 girls and a boy, but the boy's fixed so they can't have any babies. These were supposed to be our 4-H rabbits, and then the kids decided they didn't really want to show, and then I kept them because I use all their poop and hay in my gardens. But I had a really nice cage in the barn where everything fell underneath and I could just scoop it out and put it right in the garden. Obviously this is just, thankfully I had 1 cage that didn't get squished and I've thrown them on a table for now. But we will get them reset up again. I thought about rehoming them. I thought, oh, I might as well just find them a new home and call it good, but they don't really cost me much to feed. They eat a lot of my produce, and I do like their poo for the garden. Okay, I gotta feed the horses now. They're a little out of sorts without their stalls. Thankfully, they've got this little pen, and I've zip tied their feed buckets to the fence. So they've got their spots where they're eating, but it's not quite the same. They were kind of spoiled. They love standing in their stalls in the shade. They got a lot of shade from the trees, but it's just not a lot of break from, say, the rain. But they're okay. They're okay, aren't ya? They're okay. Our makeshift fence line right now. They broke out a couple times this week, but they're good. They go back in. So I'm trying to think of anything else. I got to take really good pictures today. I've taken a lot, but I want to just make sure I take really good ones for insurance before we start cleaning up. This was where the trampoline was, and the tin was all up in the tree. We've cleaned all that up. We've left the swing sets and stuff for insurance, and that tree has a couple limbs we still got to get down, but we just got a pole saw, so our trees look so bare. It looks so weird. But we'll see how they do next summer. The two in front that you're looking at are called Chinaberry trees, and it's just really soft wood. And then when the little berries get on there, it's so heavy. They're really not the best of trees, but when they bloom in February, they smell like lilacs, and that is their saving grace, because that's my favorite flower, and I can't get them in Florida. The oak tree did pretty good. That oak tree did good. Dogs are barking now. So we're just trying to find our new routine with feeding and stuff. Oh, I cleaned out my shed. I have a little, when we first lived here in the RV off grid, we bought this little shed and we used it for our laundry room, storage, tack. It's always been gonna be kind of my horsey shed, but it needs to be a dual purpose shed because we don't have anything else right now. So I cleaned this shed out, and right now I just threw some feed on the floor. In the back is kind of storage, and then I've got shelves with all our supplies for cows, horses, garden, and then all my riding gear. But we've got a lot of room in here, so as we start cleaning out the barn and the workshop, we can put some stuff in here because it's a nice dry shed. And then eventually it'll just, again, be farm, garden. So I cleaned that out last weekend as well because we had no dry place for the feed, but now we do. So we're sorted there. But it's just figuring out, you know, I had my feeding routine, my chores routine, and it's just figuring it all out again, and until we get another barn. Continue to pray for this area. The agriculture here was hit really bad. We live really close to poultry farms, and a lot of the barns are completely devastated, and they were full of chickens, which is heartbreaking to see. A lot of pine, like we have the planted pine trees, a lot of pines were affected. So people in this area could sure use your prayers, and thank goodness farmers and agriculture people are very resilient, and we will all carry on. Everything will be okay. And the silver lining is maybe we'll have some sturdier barns and sheds, and hopefully we never get a hurricane like that again. But if we do, they'll be stronger and they'll be better. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And any comments, questions, let us know. And again, check out our blog. I'll put the link below. I haven't written on there in about 10 days, but hopefully I'll get a new post up soon. And yeah, I'll do a new video on our beef too, because we're picking up our beef today. So that'll be a whole separate video maybe next week sometime. Thanks, bye.